Todd, can you give me 3 predictions for the next 5 years?
Wow. Let's check them again in 5 years. But I think one of them is my personal prediction, informed prediction, I think, is that there will continue to be the kind of pull and the what should be a healthy friction, but sometimes isn't, between the human or emotional part of consumers, the feedback and the insights and input that comes from that into business decisions alongside the rub of data. And data is something that is very alluring. It's intoxicating. It feels like that it has the keys to the kingdom. The keys to the kingdom, in my opinion, reside with both sides. Consumers are bringing both sides to the table, both sides to the purchase counter, whatever that may be, and we have to be smart about making sure that we respect both sides. The pendulum has swung from time to time in one direction or the other, but currently we're in a place where we have a great opportunity to actually assess those and to bring those things together for the good of our businesses. The second prediction I would say is that the water cooler is changing. You know, it's like it's almost like that gone, or there's no value in a spoiler alert anymore. It's like people with time shifting and with more devices and simultaneous usage and all the things that the consumers, and we're all dividing our attention. You can't get hung up on like the fact that that someone's telling you what the outcome of some show or some event actually is happening. People now are more concerned, and we see, I believe that we'll continue to be more concerned about like how something was delivered rather than like that it was delivered. Because everyone's going to know that it was delivered. It's like the interesting thing is in how the story was told, how that experience actually appeared and looked. And the third one is that research, I really believe that research and insights are going to be more valuable than ever. But even beyond more valuable than ever, I think they're going to take us to places that we've never been before. We're already beginning to see signs of that as we move beyond just assuming a seat at the table, but like affecting our businesses at a very local level that ironically we never really planned for. It was all about trying to affect change at the highest levels, when in fact change that happens locally is change that will matter, that change that you can measure. You have other people have skin in the game, and will take us to new places, to new heights, and it's really exciting.
So this importance on the local level, do you think that's come about because of the range of cross-platform opportunities?
Sure, I think that's probably played somewhat of a role because, of course, each individual has a new and different combination of ways that they want to experience content across media, and so it's important to understand the kind of local version of that, and I don't mean geographic local, but just kind of the figurative local. Data also allows us to have a local view of people's behaviors and attitudes and expectations. So it's almost as if we've unbundled, that all this change has helped us to unbundle, or is helping us unbundle the great successes that we've had, and to like reassemble them for new ways of actually kind of translating, articulating what success, or valuing what success looks like. We are talking, it's the same consumers we've been talking to for years. They have not changed. There are their basic needs that they have, which are important to stay abreast of and important to tease out and to translate into inspiring insights for our businesses. But the exciting thing about all this the bit of studying cross-platform is it allows us to be able to be creative and to come at things in a fresh kind of way and to provide new value.
If the consumer has not changed, what is changing that continues to challenge the research and requires changes or modifications to the methodologies?
Human evolution is what's changing. It's just like our need for fresh experiences, our desire to, when we meet new people, when we meet new kinds of environments, when we're involved in those kinds of things as consumers, that allows us to adapt, and with each adaptation comes a reaction, right? And so it is I think that technologies have more recently, and I mean technologies have been around for many, many years, of course, as we know, but this accelerated kind of presence and arrival and presence and exit also of new technologies is providing consumers with a dynamic way to actually experience things. But we continue to find that we're in the early days. It's like a lot of the behaviors that are being written about and that we find that it's easy to kind of talk about in the hallways come from a few people, who own devices and services and things like that, which signals to me that consumers just are not ready to embrace those things, or they're doing things on their own time, which they've always done. And so I think that when I say consumers have not changed, I don't mean that in the literal sense. I mean we're all changing, but it's like their needs, their basic needs, and for survival, and shelter and things like that remain. And being able to see through all of the other things is actually what I think will help us to make sense of all those new technologies and new kinds of things that make change seem inevitable and ever present.